It's the first Friday of the month, so that means it's time for Eye on Terre Haute. That's where we sit down with Terre Haute Mayor Duke Bennett and talk about lots of city issues going on. Thank you for joining us this morning.
It's great to be here.
So talk a little bit, all right, you gave your state of the city, and one of the big things that I think you are most proud of in the administration is getting the wastewater treatment plant up to date.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things that's not real flashy.
Right.
You know, most people just like to be able to make sure they can flush their toilet.
Exactly.
And everything works like it's supposed to. And I never paid that much attention to it myself, you know, as a member, contributing member of the system here, and until I got to be mayor and really learned the complexity of all that, and kind of learned about where we were at in the process. We weren't as far along as where we needed to be, and the feds were on us, the state was on us, and so we worked on the plan really hard for a couple of years there and got it approved, and so we've kind of started down this 20-year path of being in compliance with the EPA and IDEM. And yes, we had to do a sewer rate increase, and a lot of people kind of forgot about that. The most recent one kicked in January, but that's all part of funding that. They tell you have to do whatever you agree on, and then you got to pay for it. And so that's all part of that process that we have no choice. We have to do these things, and we try to do it in a way that keeps the bills reasonable, yet allows us to accomplish what we want to do. And so the first project is basically complete. It's called the Headworks facility, and it'll take about half of the smell away from the plant, and it increases the capacity by 40%. And so what's kind of going into the river now when we have these big rainstorms, and then we have to overflow, the combined sewer overflow term you hear, 40% of that now will go through the plant because it can handle it'll handle that much more. And then we kind of work on the other 60% over the coming years. But design work is beginning on other parts of the plant now, and then next year construction will start on a lot of those projects. So over the next 4 or 5 years, we will do roughly $100 million worth of improvements down there, put us in total compliance, completely eliminate the smell, and then work towards the less dumping into the river, basically. It's a 20-year plan, and so after that first 5 or 6 years, the rest of the plan will be to fix problems outside the plant to keep us from dumping that sewage into the river.
Because you said there really had been no major upgrades since probably around the 60s?
Yeah, the plant opened in '61, and so it's just kind of been in maintenance mode all these years, and so we're changing technologies. We're reusing the concrete, the facilities down there, but we're changing a lot of technologies, and we're adding capacity. So it's going to prepare us for the next 100 years.
So as we get closer, to springtime and that kind of stuff, when are some of these road construction projects, paving projects, going to get back online?
Well, there's a couple of big things I want to make sure we mention. Margaret Avenue, of course, both from 3rd to 7th. The design work is started on 7th to 14th, and construction will occur next year on that part. And then out on the east end, Margaret Industrial Drive, basically from Clabber Girl out to Thornton's, that work will begin widening of the road, curbs and gutters, that kind of stuff. So you'll have Margaret Avenue, a couple sections will be underway. We're going to take on a paving project on Wabash Avenue. The ripple board effect out there that we've talked about before. There's railroad tracks that still remain underneath the middle of Wabash. That's what causes that, the old railroad that used to run to Brazil. And so we will dig that out, rebuild the center of the road, and then repave it. We're hopeful to do probably a third of it this year, and we'll do another third next year. And so over the next couple of years, we'll try to get the whole thing resolved, that problem fixed.
All right, well, lots of stuff going on this spring, and we look forward to hearing more about it in the months to come. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Abby.
If you'd like to see this segment again, or you have a segment idea of your own, just click on WTHI-TV.com and click on the community page.